Harry, hey, congratulations for being part of the Hot Zone Anthrax series here.
Thanks. Thank you.
So, what initially attracted you to a project like this?
Well, I mean, I was offered to Tom Brokaw to play Tom Brokaw, and at first I was very suspicious about that. I thought that it could be a disaster to try to play such an iconic person. And I've been a fan of Tom Brokaw's my entire life. In fact, I saw him when I was a teenager. He was a local news broadcaster in Southern California, and I remember saying to my mother when I was a little kid, I said, "Look at that guy. He's really got something." And of course, he ended up being like the Tom Brokaw. So I've been a fan since I was a kid, and so the idea of portraying him was pretty scary, and I kind of felt like I would be walking on a tightrope without a net. But there's a part of me that kind of likes to bite off more than I can chew, and I've done it before with other characters and other things in my life, and maybe that's hubris, but I decided to dive in with both feet.
So, how did you prep for the Tom Brokaw role? I mean, trying to capture his mannerism, the way he speaks, and so on before this.
Fortunately, there's a tremendous amount of material on Tom Brokaw. It's a very rich history of Tom Brokaw out there, and it's in all media. So I was able to read his books, listen to his books, listen to his speeches, watch his news broadcasts, of course. But I was able to get a feeling for who he was as a human being rather than just the newscaster that we all saw. Because in his books, he talks about his journey, and it's a fascinating journey. And I was able to get a feeling for who he was and how he approached not just his journalistic world, but also his family life and the basic world around him.
So I guess we're just going to wait on to see if he contacts you later on to let you know how you did.
No, don't terrify me any more than I need to be terrified, please.
Now, how familiar were you with his situation with the anthrax incident?
I knew all about it. I was there in 2001, and we all thought that this was an extension of 9/11. And then when we found out that, well, maybe it isn't, maybe it's something more domestic, I think we saw that there was a much more three-dimensional global idea of terrorism that we hadn't really thought about before. And I remember very vividly canceling a trip back east because everybody said, there's a good chance that this is going to blow up and be a much bigger deal than it is right now. And I think Donald Rumsfeld or somebody like him in the government was even saying that we should go out and get duct tape and have it just in case a crop duster comes over our town. We can tape our windows up and keep the stuff from coming in. And I still have some of that duct tape, so I remember it vividly.
So basically, by playing Brokaw here, you managed to capture, because in his own way, he was cool under pressure, especially being on the news. But deep down inside, you managed to capture that he's terrified of all this at the same time.
Well, there was one scene with Daniel Day Kim that where I was able to let that out of the box, and I actually, the first time we shot it, take one, I was much more hot, much hotter than I am in the show, or I don't know which take they ended up using, but the director did ask me to come down. He said, he's not quite that mad, and because I really let him have it the first take. Wow. They might have used that. I haven't seen any of the show, so I don't know.
Well, you'll get to see it very soon. And after this experience, you want to portray any more real life figures?
It actually was fun to do. It was challenging, but fun. I don't know. I think, one time is probably enough. I went back and I watched Anthony Hopkins do Nixon, and I kind of used that as a paradigm, as an analog for how I was going to approach this. I don't know. It would depend on who it is.
Most excellent answer. Well, Harry, thank you very much for speaking to us about the Hot Zone Anthrax.
Absolutely. Sure.
Thank you.